It's a gorgeous sunny Sunday in San Diego. The D-backs look to sweep the Padres. It's Arizona Diamondbacks baseball, presented by Sanderson Ford. The D-backs in search of their second consecutive three-game series sweep. Last time they did that was nearly 6 years ago. We are set for the Diamondbacks and the Padres on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Petco Park and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. The Diamondbacks go for the sweep here in San Diego. And Zach Godley gets the baseball to start things off today. Zach has made 3 starts this year, Bob, and he's given up a total of only 4 runs.
You know, Torey Lovullo and the Diamondbacks have been very careful not to declare this Zach Godley spot in the rotation, but you look at the numbers over his 3 starts this season. Other than an elevated walk total, he's done everything they've asked him to do. He continues to audition every time he takes the ball.
Zach Godley on the mound for the Diamondbacks, the lefty Clayton Richard for the Padres, and good news for the D-backs as well. Chris IANNETTA back in there, getting the start behind the plate today.
Yeah, really good to see Chris back in there. He's gradually upped the workload. He caught some side sessions. He's had the gear on. He's warmed up pitchers between innings, and in the starting lineup today, great to see him back so quickly.
We are set to go. The D-backs with the brooms ready again, trying to sweep the Padres. First pitch is coming up shortly from Petco Park on Military Appreciation Day in San Diego.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Experience winning like you've never imagined at the Gila River Casinos, Lone Butte, Bequiva, and Wild Horse Pass. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. Location statewide. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. On Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Welcome to the Gig Life. And by State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM.
Well, the D-backs with 13 first-inning runs so far in this series. They'll try and keep that going when we come back. It's Zach Godley and Clayton Richard, the Diamondbacks and the Padres from San Diego. Military Celebration Day here at Petco Park. Bright blue skies overhead as the Diamondbacks look to complete a 3-game sweep of the San Diego Padres. We've got members from the U.S. Coast Guard honored right now in a pregame ceremony. Just had a flyover from the Coast Guard's MH-60 Jayhawk helicopters. That was pretty cool.
Got some video of that.
On the phone. Let's take a look at the lineup for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks. Today it's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Boy, this is the kind of day you want to be in the lineup. A beautiful day here at Petco Park in San Diego. Gregor Blanco will lead it off and play center field. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Paul Goldschmidt over at first base. Chris Owings cleaning up and playing right field today. Yasmani Tomas in left. Brandon Drury at second, Jake Lamb at third base. As we mentioned in the open, Chris IANNETTA back in the lineup doing the catching for right-hander Zach Godley.
On the mound for the Padres, the left-hander, your Ram truck starting pitcher. It's Clayton Richard. D-backs getting their third look at the lefty Richard this year. 2-5 in 9 starts, an ERA near 5. No pitcher in the National League has given up more base hits this year than Clayton Richard.
Yeah, for the second time this season, he gave up 6 earned runs his last time out against the Milwaukee Brewers. Actually threw the ball pretty well, gave up, or rather struck out 7, did not walk a batter, but as you mentioned, he gave up 10 hits in 6 innings of work, an extreme ground ball pitcher.
Our eye on the Padres defense behind Clayton Richard is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
Alan Cordoba getting a start in left field this afternoon. Manuel Margot in center. Hunter Renfroe over in right field. It'll be Schimpf and Ibar on the left side of the infield with Spangenberg and Myers on the right side. Austin Hedges once again doing the catching for lefty Clayton Richard.
Ramon DeJesus is our plate umpire today. He'll have the balls and strikes. The crew chief Brian Gorman is at first base. Dan Isonia at second and Trip Gibson at third. And Bob, before we get started, time as always for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Yeah, sweep times 2. Diamondbacks swept the Mets at home at Chase Field before coming out for this quick 3-game road trip here to San Diego. And with a win today, it'll be back-to-back sweeps. Just like that, Yasmani.
Diamondbacks have not swept back-to-back three-game series since August of 2011, so it's been nearly 6 years. A chance to do that here today as GREGOR BLANCO steps in to lead it off on a beautiful Sunday in San Diego.
We haven't scored yet.
Yeah. We're behind.
It's been that kind of series. The first 2 games, the Diamondbacks just exploding on the Padres starter in the first inning.
Well, Friday, the D-backs got you tacos, 6 batters in. Last night, it took 7 batters to get tacos, so.
Well, if we have to wait 8 hitters to get tacos, so be it.
May come to that, unfortunately. Blanco singled, walked, and scored twice in Friday's series opener, and he hits a ground ball right to CORY SPANGENBERG at second base. That's one thing Clayton Richard will do, is get ground ball outs. He excels at that when he's on his game. 60% grounders, that ranks him 5th best at all of baseball.
Leads the National League in double plays induced. He's had 10 on the season, although he got 4 of those in the very first start of the season against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Here's something that Torey Lovullo has started doing lately, batting Nick Ahmed in the 2-hole against the left-hand starting pitcher. Nick's done well in this spot. 3 for 7 in 2 starts as the number 2 hitter. That's ball 1. Nick at 256 and 4 home runs. He doubled Friday here. He's 1 for 3 in the series. Against Luis Perdomo's difficult sinker last night, Torey Lovullo said it was pretty obvious that the D-backs were trying to get ahead of him and get a pitch that was elevated, not let him work into the 2-seam fastball that would create ground balls. That worked out very nicely. And as Torey said, early swings resulted in some early hits and some early runs. So the question today is, will it be the same against Clayton Richard, who is a very similar pitcher, a guy who throws the sinker nearly 60% of the time, only from the left-hand side. He'll mix in more changeups than Perdomo, but like Perdomo, a lot of sinkers, a lot of curveballs.
Yeah, the difference, I think, last night, Perdomo just couldn't get that sinker down in the zone early enough, and the Diamondbacks took advantage of some of those pitches up around the belt.
Yeah, he tried throwing a slider. Diamondbacks just laid off that pitch. They would not chase it, which is to their credit. And Perdomo suffered his first loss of the year. Gave up 8 runs on 11 hits in only 3 innings. Still 2-2 on Nick Ahmed.
Well, at least Perdomo has a decision now. He had gone 6 starts without recording either a win or a loss this season. Diamondbacks hung an L on him last night.
Yeah, that was a new Padres record. 6 starts without a decision. Nick sends one out to Renfroe in right field. Makes kind of a funny jumping catch, and he's got it 2 down. Paul Goldschmidt now, 3-12 and 10 home runs, leading the major leagues in walks. Goldie a pair of singles last night. He knocked in 2 runs. He's also walked twice in the series. First pitch swinging, drives it deep to right field. Renfroe backing up at the wall, and he's got it 1 step shy. No score in San Diego. Zach Godley coming up. For D-backs and Padres, your Ram truck starter for the Diamondbacks is Zack Godley, 27-year-old right-hander. Unbeaten in 3 starts. He's worked 18 2/3 innings this year and given up only 4 runs.
Occasionally, Zack Godley, we know he likes to work quickly. We know he likes to get on and off the field, which is all well and good. He just has to make sure that when he begins his delivery that he's under control and in a good tempo out there on the mound.
Manuel Margot, the rookie center fielder, will lead it off. Padres on this military celebration day wearing their military camo uniforms. Ball 1 to Manuel Margot, 270 and 4 home runs. He is 1 for 6 in the series. He has singled and walked once. Chop to third for Jake Lamb. Let's take a look at the lineup for Andy Green's Padres, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Quick out by the center fielder, Manuel Margot leading it off. Alan Cordoba making his way to the plate. He'll be out in left field. Will Myers at first base. Brian SCHIMPF back in the lineup at third today. Hunter Renfroe out in right field. CORY SPANGENBERG at second base. Austin Hedges catching. Eric Ibar at shortstop, and Clayton Richard, the lefty, on the mound.
Well, Cordoba is a guy who's playing more and more as a Rule 5 pick this year, and he's playing all over the field. In left field today, batting second against Zack Godley, just 21 years old. First pitch is fouled back, and it's 0-1. Cordoba 279 and 3 home runs, a pair of hits and an RBI in the series so far. We've seen him play shortstop, left field, center field. Drives this one to left center. GREGOR BLANCO coming in, and he makes a nice running catch, 2 down. Let's take a look at that Diamondback defense, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
Yeah, we've seen GREGOR BLANCO in action out there in center field. He'll have Yasmani Tomas playing left. Chris Owings playing right this afternoon. Sun could be a factor out there. Jake Lamb at third, Nick Ahmed at shortstop, Brandon Drury at second, Paul Goldschmidt over at first, with Chris IANNETTA behind the dish for Zack Godley.
2 outs on 4 pitches for Godley. Good to have Chris IANNETTA back with us. Will Myers. Fastball is in there for strike 1. Myers slumping, 281, 11 homers. He's hit a couple of balls hard in this series for outs, but has nothing to show for it. 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. And he's quickly down 0-2. Myers belts one down the left field line, but foul. A lot of Little Leaguers here with us today. There was a Little League parade before the ball game. Myers able to check, and it's 1-2. Curveball got away from Godley.
Better curveball that time in an 0-2 count. He hung one on the pitch before. Unfortunately, Will Myers pulled it foul down that third baseline. They come right back with it, and this time Godley's able to bounce it out there on the front of home plate, trying to get the swing.
Lifted in the air along the right field line. Long run for Chris Owings. And CO's got it in fair territory. A 9-pitch first as Godley sprints off the mound. No score in San Diego.
One inning here at Petco Park. Hey fans, a D-backs home run today means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-a-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Chris Owings, who hit in the leadoff spot last night, batting in the cleanup spot today, steps in against left-hander Clayton Richard to start the second inning. First pitch is a strike. CO, the Diamondbacks leading hitter now with .331. That's good for 8th in the National League. 5 hits in this series, including a pair of doubles. Hits this one out to right center field. Margot backs up. He's got it. That's 3 fly ball outs against Richard. 1 down to the second.
Yeah, kind of odd. Yeah. Guy that makes his living putting the ball on the ground, getting 3 fly ball outs out of the first 4 of the game. I'd say that ranks as unusual.
I'm going to take that as a good sign for the D-backs.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you tell yourself as a hitter. Make him get the ball up. Of course, you can't make him get the ball up, but just mentally to prepare for pitches up in the zone.
Well, Goldie drove Renfroe to the wall to win the first. Here's Tomas, 252, 8 home runs. Yasmani with a pair of hits and RBIs in the series. Got a 5-game hitting streak. See that unusual motion from Clayton Richard. 3rd time we've seen him this year. He kind of just flings it in there with his release point right by his ear. Works from the far first base side of the rubber. Not uncomfortable at bat for left-hand hitters. David Peralta not in the lineup today. Jake Lamb bats 7th.
He kind of comes at you in stages out there. Starts his windup facing first base. And then that little funny thing he does with his left arm as he's holding the baseball out behind his body, kind of jerks it and shakes it around a little bit before delivering the ball to home plate.
Not giving Yasmani Tomas anything to hit. It's 3-0. Another patient at bat from Yasmani. This has been a very encouraging trend for Yasmani Tomas. Getting better pitches to hit. He's been more of a force in the lineup. 11 RBIs in his last 10 games. And he lifts another one up in the air along the right field line. Hunter Renfroe on the run. And he's got it in fair territory. That's 4 now fly ball outs against the ground ball pitcher Richard. Brandon Drury now. 301 and 4 homers. 2 for 9 in the series. Homered here Friday. And we mentioned last night that Brandon's at bats lately looked a little off balance, a little in between, maybe a little uncertain.
And when you get off balance and when you're a little bit uncertain, that's usually when you start a little quicker because you feel like you're behind everything. And that's when you become susceptible to slower breaking balls and straight change ups. It's a never-ending battle. I'm too quick. Now I'm too slow. Now I'm out in front of everything. Now I'm behind everything. Very rarely does a batter maintain that perfect timing and perfect rhythm for long stretches of time.
Another one in the air to right center field. Margot has it behind Renfroe, who crisscrossed right in front of him at the last moment. 6 up, 6 down for the D-backs. No score at Petco Park.
Half of the second. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. Widely considered the greatest college baseball game ever played, the first round of the NCAA tournament at Yale. Ron Darling pitching for the Bulldogs. Frank Viola for St. John's. They went 11 scoreless innings. Ron Darling had a no-hitter through 11 innings. Gave up a leadoff bloop hit in the 12th. After an infield error and a double steal, the only run of the game came across. St. John's beat Yale 1-0.
A lot has been written about that game. One of the most famous college games ever. Ryan Schimpf in the cleanup spot today. Godley quickly ahead 0-2. Schimpf 161, 9 home runs, 20 hits all year, but 11 of them are for extra bases. D-backs have the shift on. That's fouled back. Schimpf walked twice, had an RBI single Friday in the opener. He had last night off.
I was talking to our buddy Mark Grant in the booth next door before the ball game, talking about this game between Yale and St. John's back in 1981, and he pointed out, quite accurately for a change, Ron Darling was the 9th pick in the first round of the '81 draft that year. Mark Grant was the 10th pick in the first round.
See, does all the scouts get fired after that?
They probably should have. And the Padres in the 3rd round that year, the 58th overall pick, took a little fat outfielder from San Diego State by the name of Tony Gwynn.
That worked out pretty well.
Pretty good,
Mr.
Yeah.
Padre. 2-2 on Ryan Schimpf. There he is, just beyond right center field on the hill out there. Schimpf drives one to center, but right at Blanco.
Ooh.
Yeah, tricky one there.
Might have been knuckling a little bit as it got out there to Gregor Blanco. That ball was taking a left turn right in front of him, able to reach out with that glove hand and make the play.
So this is a matchup of two very good ground ball pitchers, but we've had nearly all fly ball out so far. And here's the right fielder, Hunter Renfroe. 205, 8 home runs, 0 for 7 in the series. He has walked and struck out twice. Mentioned the Tony Gwynn statue out there. What a day to sit out on that hill.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's outside of the stadium. It's a little park area, and you can just plant a blanket down there in the grass, and you can see everything except left field, which is blocked out by the scoreboard. Renfroe hits one deep left center. Blanco gets over there. 2 down. Perfect day to be out there in right center. Near the Tony Gwynn statue, there's a little sort of wiffle ball park over there. A lot of kids and families. Padres do a nice job with that. The late great Tony Gwynn, he is sorely missed. Cory Spangenberg, the start at second base today. Goes bunt, pulls back, takes strike 1. Spangenberg 259 with a homer. Had a pair of singles last night that made him their biggest offensive threat of the game. Padres last night just 1 run on 4 hits. Been a rough series for San Diego. That's to say the least. They lost Friday night 10-1. Last night 9-1. Each game Andy Green's team 1 run on 4 hits. And Greeny was talking about that after the game last night. He said you'd want to be the type of team that's not affected by what the scoreboard says. But he had to admit clearly the Padres are, and he said that's his fault at this point in time because it's just not happening. Fights that one off and dunks it into shallow right, but Brandon Drury's out there to corral it. And Zach Godley has retired all 6 he's faced. No score at Petco Park.
Lamb leading off the third here for the D-backs. He's in the 7th spot here today, something Torey Lovello's been thinking about for a little while. He called Jake into his office last week at Chase Field and said, I'm thinking about this situation right now. Now, Jake's hitting 167 against lefties, and so for Torey, it was just about putting him in less of a pressure situation, you know, hitting behind Paul Goldschmidt. The strategy there with a lot of left-handed pitchers, just walking Paul Goldschmidt, and then that pressure is on Jake Lamb. Jake said to Torey, I'm on board, whatever's good for the team, so we're seeing him in this spot here today, guys.
And he hits one right at Will Myers at first base. 7 up, 7 down so far against Clayton Richard. Yeah, with Jake leading the D-backs in homers and RBIs, you want his bat in there. But on the other hand, he's now 7 for 43 versus lefties this year. And now with that new face guard on, he says he'll wear it for a while anyway. It's Chris IANNETTA's first game back since he was struck in the face by that pitch against the Pirates.
You know, I guess this might be ironic. Even if he were wearing that extended jaw guard, still would have hit him in the face.
It's one pretty deep right center field. Welcome back, Chris IANNETTA. Chris IANNETTA, that's gone. His 4th, back in a big way. It only took one pitch, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Don't change a thing.
Wow. Opposite field blast from Chris IANNETTA on the first pitch he sees off the disabled list.
You know, he had homered in that game earlier before he was hit by the pitch.
Right.
And now he's got a home run in his first at bat back.
Well, that had to shock Clayton Richard. That was a pitch down in the zone, and somehow IANNETTA pulled his hands in, got underneath that ball, and hit it high in the air to right center for a home run.
Big hug from the skipper, Torey Lovello. Jumbo Jack, a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink. From Jack in the Box, here's Zach Godley, who's now got a 1-0 lead.
It's the 10th home run from the Diamondbacks catching core. Chris Herman, Jeff Mathis, and today Chris IANNETTA.
It takes a village. He's got some dental work in his future still, but all smiles certainly in that D-back dugout. Chris IANNETTA. Godley shoots one the other way off the glove of Myers, sprinting to the bag. And Richard just did get him by a step. Ryan Gorman, the crew chief, is down there. Torey Lovello with a hand up. They'll take a look. Well, we know Zach Godley can sprint. We see him do it after every inning. Ron Gardenhire on the phone with Alan Campbell, the video coordinator. Here's a look.
Myers knocks it down. Clayton Richard was a little slow getting off the mound. Boy, is that close. A lot closer than it looked with the naked eye.
No challenge from the Diamondback dugout, so Godley is retired. Nice play by Will Myers just to get a glove on that, and Richard to hustle over. Second time through the order now. Gregor Blanco grounded out in his first at bat. Blanco the start today in center field against the lefty. First pitch swing and jammed him. Very shallow left behind shortstop. Ibar calling everyone off. And Cordoba, the Rule 5 pick, almost ran right up his back. But Chris IANNETTA, welcome back, Chris. A home run. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks.
The only run, the Chris IANNETTA 406-foot homer to right center field. There's Bird on our off day here in San Diego. Nice job, partner.
Hang 10 or 5 or something.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, fans, the next promotion is one a lot of people are really excited about. The Game of Thrones night at Chase Field. When you buy the Game of Thrones special event pack, you get a lower level game ticket and a limited edition Taiwan Walker Night King bobblehead. Limited quantities are available for this one. Secure your bobblehead and ticket now at dbacks.com/GOT for Game of Thrones.
Nice. I love how our producer, Brand the Big Dog Weimer, always makes you read the Game of Thrones promo. Winter is coming. There was some bad news about Taiwan Walker today. He's now on the disabled list. Taiwan went on the DL just before the game today. He's got a blister on his right index finger. TJ McFarland has been activated. He was on the DL after taking that comebacker off his left ankle on the last homestand. Now Taiwan was supposed to start the Wednesday getaway day game against the White Sox at Chase Field, so that's still up in the air as to who will take that start. But Taiwan with a blister on his right index finger.
You know, we saw him in his last start kind of looking down there at the tail end of his outing, and we weren't sure if it was a blister issue or had a problem with a fingernail or what it was, and now we know he had a minor blister on that pitching finger, and he'll be out at least 10 days.
Austin Hedges, the catcher, leads off the third against Zach Godley, who's retired all 6 he's faced. Hedges 214, 8 home runs. 1 for 5 in the series. He singled Friday in the series opener. Well, we started, of course, speculating, all right, well, who's going to start Wednesday? We thought, well, maybe Braden Shipley, but Braden is pitching today for Reno, so he won't be available Wednesday, so we'll have to wait and see. Fouled straight back, and it's 1-2.
And obviously that will create the same controversy surrounding Archie Bradley. Should Archie be in the rotation? There's another spot in the rotation for Archie.
No.
I don't think so either, but we'll see what the Diamondbacks do with that spot on Wednesday.
Little squib shot over the mound, backhanded by Drury. Nice play by Brandon Drury to get Hedges for the first out in the bottom of the third. That wasn't too different from the play that he tried to make the other night that was a base hit.
Yeah, I think he just didn't get a real good grip on the ball the other night. Tried to make the same kind of running throw, but just kind of floated a changeup across the diamond to Goldie.
Eric Ibar, the shortstop, switch hitter. Hit down in a low crouch, gets a good look at that one. It's ball one. Ibar 208, 4 homers. A single and a pair of walks in the series so far. You were talking about eye black the other day in that Wednesday game at Chase Field. Ibar, not only does he have the adhesive stuff, he's got little logos on his eye black. Next level.
See, I think that defeats the purpose. You know, the idea is to give some shade underneath your eyes, the reflective glare that comes off the dirt of the diamond.
The purpose, I think, is to look cool.
I guess so. Yeah, that little SD logo that he has in the middle of those stick-on eye black patches, yeah, that would reflect the dirt just like if you had no eye black on.
He sees little logos everywhere he looks. Godley behind, 2 balls and a strike. Another ground ball for Drury. Another backhand stop, jump throw. That's back-to-back nice plays there by Brandon Drury at second base. 2 very similar plays. And Godley's got the ground ball working now.
Try somebody else. Brandon Drury up to the task on the last 2 batted balls. A couple of tough plays up the middle, throwing on the move, and 2 quick outs.
Brings up the pitcher, Clayton Richard. Remember Zach 2 starts ago against the Tigers. As you look at the numbers on Richard this year, very effective keeping the Detroit hitters off balance. Used his changeup, threw it for strikes. But Monday, as you'll recall, he was kind of all over the place early in the ball game. Really struggled throwing strikes against the Mets, but that curveball really seemed to help Zach settle down. Got some strikes and build some momentum, but he's had that momentum from the get-go here today. There was a time in that last start against the Mets where you thought, oh, this could be a short one here, because he's having problems throwing strikes. But that has not been the case today. Godley, in fact, walked 5 through his first 3 2/3 in that start.
I'm going to give a lot of credit to Jeff Mathis in that ball game. He also recognized that Zach was having trouble throwing strikes, so he went to the curveball a lot more.
9 up, 9 down for Zach Godley. Chris IANNETTA, a home run in his first game back. It's 1-0 D-backs.
Early in this ball game, it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Both pitchers today have been tremendously efficient. Clayton Richards thrown only 29 pitches through 3 innings. But the first pitch he threw to Chris IANNETTA was taken out deep to right center for a homer, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Zach Godley had 33 pitches through 3, and Nick Ahmed will lead off the 4th. Only took Chris 1 pitch to get back in the flow after getting struck in the face by that pitch the other day. Ahmed jumps on the first one, backs up Margot in center, 1 away. Here's Goldie. Goldie jumped on the first pitch he saw. Took one deep to right center field. Hunter Renfroe caught it 1 step shy of the wall out there to end the first.
On Sunday day games, when a guy used to fly out to the warning track, we would always say 1 more donut and you'd have had a home run. I don't know that Goldie eats donuts.
Got to eat one to hit one, right?
Probably gluten-free.
Yeah. They're made out of kale or something. It's funny to see the older pictures of Goldie, and by older I mean, you know, when he was back in college or whatever, and he was kind of a pudgy little college kid, but now he's a specimen. Probably not too many donuts these days. Mention that the Diamondbacks, like they did last night against Luis Perdomo, might be up there very aggressive early in counts, trying to get ahead of that sinker, and they've done the same thing with Richard today. 4 first pitches put into play by the Diamondbacks, 1 for a home run, as Goldie grounds out, 2 down. Cleanup man today is Chris Owings, flying out to center his first time up. CO begins today with a 6-game hitting streak. 5 of those are multi-hit games. He's also hit safely in 10 consecutive starts. And he's had multiple hits in 7 of those 10 starts. So he is really having a big month of May. And he is up there swinging early. It's 0-1.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, because of all the numbers that teams have access to nowadays, you know that Clayton Richard throws his fastball X percentage of time on the first pitch, the location that he throws that first pitch.
Chops another ball on the ground. Ryan Schimpf has it at third. 5 in a row set down by Richard since the IANNETTA home run. And it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Day here in San Diego. Marines and their drill instructors from the 3rd Recruit Battalion, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, with us today. And we just heard the Marine hymn. D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, then stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the app, take Fox Sports Arizona, and your D-backs with you wherever you go. 9 up, 9 down against Zach Godley. The leadoff man, Manuel Margot, leads off the 4th inning. That's always a cool thing here when you have all the military personnel up there in that section behind a right field foul pole, all standing at attention. They file in 1 seat, 1 row at a time. It's something to watch.
And then right after they play the Marine hymn, they head out to meet chicks.
Yeah, you see the drill instructors right there watching, making sure everybody files out in military fashion. And a lot of members from the U.S. Coast Guard here with us today as well. They were honored in a pregame ceremony.
You eyeballing me, boy?
Goldie, foul ground, long run, IANNETTA as well, and it's in the dugout, and so is Goldie.
Dugouts are a little odd here at Petco Park. Generally, there's a walkway with a few steps that goes out on the field, but it's about as wide as a doorway. Here, half the dugout is covered with the fencing, and then the rest of it is wide open. That time, that ball on the first base side, right near those steps.
Godley has his first strikeout. He set down the first 10 Padres today. Alan Cordova now. Godley a 9-pitch first inning. 12 pitches in both the second and the third. Cordova flied out his first time up. Zach Godley doing a really nice job this season, mixing in all his different pitches. There were times Zach may have relied a little too much on one pitch in particular. It always changed here and there. That one drops in for a hit in front of Owings, and Cordova's aboard, and he's picked off. Oh boy, when it's going bad for Andy Green, and it's going bad. They've had only 4 hits in each of the first 2 games. Cordova drops their first base hit in and then gets picked off rounding first.
That's just a boneheaded base running play. It's right in front of you and not far in front of you. That little blooper fell in shallow right field near the foul line. Chris Owings got to it quickly and looked up and was shocked to see that Cordova had rounded the base as far as he did.
Oh boy. Well, in Cordova's defense, if there is one, he's only 21 years old and was playing rookie league ball last year. Here is a Rule 5 pick, but the rules are the same down there as they are up here.
Yeah, that's a no-no in A ball. That's a no-no in Little League ball. That's a no-no everywhere when the play's right in front of you like that.
Yeah, there's a little discussion in the dugout now. Will Myers flied out in his first at bat.
Alan Zinter, the hitting coach for the Padres, talking it over with the youngster. And it's understandable as well, given the way the Padres have struggled offensively recently, especially in this series, that a young guy try to do a little bit too much, maybe take a big turn, try to stretch that into a double if Chris Owings mishandled the ball at all, but ends up running into an out.
Well, Myers lays off a curveball that time, and it's 3-1. Ryan Schimpf would be next. Myers hits one along the right field line. CO will give it a look, and it's out of play. Will Myers a quiet stretch at the plate right now. He's hitting less than 190 over his last 15 games. That's after he had a big April, hit 7 home runs last month. Solarte's been in the tank. He's not even in the lineup today, and Myers is slumping. Lays off that cutter up. First base on balls issued by Godley today. And here's Schimpf. Lined out to center to lead off the second inning. Started to say that Godley lately has done a very good job with the help of his catchers mixing up all his pitches. Sometimes last year he'd throw the sinker all the time. Sometimes he'd throw the cutter all the time. But now he says hitters can't sit on that cut fastball. Instead, they see the changeup. They see the sinker away, curveball down. And all of a sudden that cutter runs back in on the hands of a left-hand hitter like Schimpf. Mixing things up has really helped them out a lot. In fact, Godley has held left-hand hitters now hitless in their last, let's see, 23 at bats against him. Now make it 24, actually. And cutter's a big reason why. Curveball missed, and it's 1-1.
You know, there will be a given day where Zach is really feeling one pitch over the other and maybe go to it a lot more, but I think you're absolutely right about mixing up his pitches. I mean, we saw Zach Greinke a couple of starts ago, had a great feel for his slider and threw a bunch of them in that ball game. But we've also seen starts where Zach Greinke only throws a couple of sliders over the course of the game.
Whatever's working that day. The 2 starts ago for Zach at Godley, it was the changeup. Last start, it was the curveball. Got him! Oh, the Padres in the 4th inning have 2 runners picked off at first base. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Wow. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 1-0. Time now for the Unlimited Baseball break presented by T-Mobile. Big City has a new city. Matt Adams, former Cardinal, made his debut today for the Atlanta Braves. Braves will be without Freddie Freeman for a long time after he was hit on the wrist by a pitch. Looks like 2 or 3 months without Freeman. So Adams is in Atlanta now. And Jose Reyes, a late scratch for the Mets, a left rib cage injury. Diamondbacks, a home run from Chris IANNETTA in his first game back from the DL. And that's the only run of the game so far as Tomas leads off the 5th with a bloop single to center. Second hit for the Diamondbacks against Clayton Richard. Brings up Brandon Drury. How about the Padres? I mean, you score 1 run on 4 hits Friday, then 1 run on 4 hits Saturday. You come in Sunday, you get a single and a walk. Both guys get picked off.
Ouch.
On back-to-back plays. Ouch, babe. Drury lines it into the glove of Spangenberg, who makes a nice leaping grab at second. That seems to happen to Brandon Drury an awful lot.
It's a lot of line drives just like this one, almost over the head of the infield in front of the outfield, but that time Spangenberg able to go up the ladder and take a base hit away.
Jake Lamb batting 7th against the left-hander today. Jake grounded out to first at his first at bat. Now 7 for 43 versus lefties this year. But leading the D-backs with 11 homers and 36 RBIs. You want his bat in there. So Torey Lovullo's idea, as Jody told us earlier, get him in there against the lefty, but drop him down a bit. So he bats 7th here today. 40 pitches for Clayton Richard. 28 strikes. Jake, 4 hits in the series. A double and a pair of homers. He's also walked 3 times. He's knocked in 7 runs in the first 2 games. Check swing foul, and it's 0-2.
You know, the numbers don't lie for Jake Lamb against left-handed pitching, but I will say I think he's put together better at bats recently. Hasn't gotten the results many times, but he's worked some deep counts. He's fouled off some tough pitchers' pitches to stay alive in at bats. Seen very few of those futile swings at breaking balls off the outside corner like that.
Yeah, that's, let's see, 21 strikeouts in 44 at bats this year versus lefties. So he's striking out basically half the time he's up there against lefties, but it is a process.
Yep.
First strikeout for Clayton Richard.
I think the question is, at what point do you concede that Jake Lamb's not going to hit lefties, or we think he will get better and will be an everyday player against both righties and lefties?
Chris IANNETTA homered on the first pitch he saw from Clayton Richard in the third. Well, if you don't, this might sound a little weird, but if you don't play him every day against lefties, do you then run the risk of creating something that you're afraid he might turn into?
Absolutely. Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy. If you sit a guy against tough lefties, he's never going to learn to hit left-handed pitching. And throughout his minor league career, he didn't take days off against left-handers. He faced whoever happened to be out on the mound that given day. But some of the lefties in the big leagues have some things that you don't see at the minor league level.
Well, Torrey, when he was hired, said the D-backs were going to look for their primary third baseman to be Jake Lamb. They consider him an everyday player, and that would be Jake's role. He is the third baseman. And for the most part, they've stuck to that this year.
Well, and just to play devil's advocate, and I'm sure the Diamondbacks have thought about this. They haven't said so publicly, but you know, if you do decide at some point that Jake Lamb is a platoon guy, it would seem like left field would be the place, because Yasmani struggles against some right-handers, a lot of right-handers. Jake Lamb struggles against lefties. It would seem to be a perfect mate out there, a righty and a lefty, to platoon in left field. Of course, that would involve some chicanery with your other infield positions. I would assume then that Brandon Drury would move over to third base, Chris Owings would slide over to second, and Nick Ahmed would find himself in the lineup more often.
Well, for me, and this means nothing, of course, but Jake Lamb is a 30-homer, 90, 100 RBI guy, and that's an everyday player in the major leagues. Now, if you want to drop him down to 7th against lefties, that seems to make a lot of sense. And I'd rather have him in there than not. 2-2 on IANNETTA. Gets a piece of that fastball to stay alive.
Well, as we've seen many times this season, just because the other team starts a left-handed pitcher doesn't mean that a lefty's going to be out there for 9 innings. You know, you go to the bullpen, and most bullpens are heavily loaded with right-handed arms.
Well, Jake feels like, if you're talking pure results against lefties, he's not where he wants to be, but he thinks he's definitely approaching that spot. As IANNETTA looks at called strike 3, DeJesus rings him up, bottom 5 on the way. It's 1-0 D-backs. Well, the Padres somehow had 2 runners picked off first base on back-to-back hitters to end the 4th inning. Our Cox high-speed highlights, and this is just an unpardonable sin.
Yeah, I think in both cases the guy's just trying to do too much. Cordoba with a big turnaround first base with the ball right in front of him and not far away, and then Will Myers certainly looked like he was going to attempt to steal. Got caught leaning the wrong way. Just trying to do too much when your team is struggling.
By the way, Myers, since the start of last season, has now been picked off first base 5 times. That's the most in the major leagues.
Oh.
Ryan Schimpf, who was batting when Myers was picked off after drawing that walk, leads off the 5th against Zack Godley. Zack at 50 pitches, 34 strikes.
You know, one thing about Wil Myers getting picked off 5 times, he's been on base a bunch. He's reached 40 of the 46 games that the Padres have played this year. Wil Myers has been on base. That's first in the National League. Only Paul Goldschmidt actually first in the major leagues. Goldie is second with 39 out of 45.
Ryan Schimpf bidding to tie the ball game, and there it goes. Ryan Schimpf, this is what he does. Hits home runs. He's got 21 hits all year. 10 of them are homers, and it's tied at 1. Just the 2nd home run given up this year by Zack Godley.
Yeah, no doubt had home run distance off the bat. The only question was fair or foul. Put it right down that first baseline and curved it just inside the pole.
Everything with Ryan Schimpf is about launch angle, and he launched that one. His 10th of the year. Here's Hunter Renfroe. It's kind of amazing. The guy's got 21 hits all season long. 10 homers. Godley behind now, 2-0 on Renfroe. Another guy that's got very good power. Missed with a fastball, and it's 3-0. Renfroe, another Padre hitter, slumping in May. He's under 190 for the month. 204 for the year. Drives that one to right center field. Owings will have to play it off the wall. Renfroe heads for second, and he's in there with his 8th double.
Sinker on that outer third of the plate that time. Renfroe with a line drive into the gap in right center field. Good meeting here by Chris IANNETTA. About the time that ball was landing on the warning track, Chris was already halfway to the mound. Zack Godley had been cruising in this ball game, and now a long home run to right field and a gapper to right center. Well, just slow things down a little bit, break up the Padres' rhythm here.
Yeah, Godley through the first 4 innings had given up only 1 hit, a bloop single. But the 5th inning begins home run double, and here's Cory Spangenberg. Spangenberg popped up in his first at bat today. He's 0 for 1. Spangenberg will bunt on you, and Jake Lamb anticipating that. In a little bit at third. That one's fouled away.
I was watching Paul Goldschmidt down at first base. He was anticipating it as well. Started creeping in as Zack Godley got his sign from Chris IANNETTA, and then came in 3 or 4 hard steps into the infield grass.
Yeah, Spangenberg has a pretty good small ball game. He can bunt, he can run. Squares up again, pulls back. Renfroe stays put at second, and it's 1-1. Right back to Godley. Oh, he looked Renfroe back to the bag, decided to settle for 1. Get the sure out. Renfroe was pretty fair distance off that second base bag.
Hard one hopper back to the mound. Yeah, possibly had a play out there at second base. I think Zack did the right thing, however. Make sure you get an out.
Yeah, Renfroe started heading toward third there. 60 pitches, 39 strikes. Here's the catcher, Austin Hedges. There's the Zach Godley cut fastball, and it's 0-1. Backs that up with a curveball. No balls and 2 strikes on the Padre catcher. Austin Hedges, you can see the difference here. 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, both at Petco Park and on the road. But here at home, the batting average drops more than 100 points. Squirts that one up the middle, though, and into center. Glenn Hoffman, a late send. Blanco bobbles the ball, and RENFROE scores. Hoffman was going to stop the runner at third, but then sent RENFROE home as Blanco had trouble picking it up in center.
You're right, Glenn Hoffman had the stop sign up, but when Blanco bobbled the ball out there in center field, he waved him on home with the go-ahead run.
So no RBI, it's a single for Hedges. The run scores on the error by Blanco, E8, and the Padres have a 2-1 lead. Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Ibar grounded out his first time up. Jake Lamb a couple of steps in at third. Goalie holding Hedges on the bag at first. Broken bat, that's going to drop in for a base hit. Hedges digging for third. Ibar heads for second. Glenn Hoffman will stop Hedges at third, and it's a double for the Padres shortstop. 4 hits in this inning for San Diego. Mike Butcher to the mound.
Broken bat floater down that right field line. It was a nice relay. Chris Owings had to go a long way to get to this ball down into the right field corner, but fires a strike into Brandon Drury, who also fires a strike to home plate to hold that runner at third base.
So a run is in on the SCHIMPF homer. 2 runs in, actually, after RENFROE scored. And now it's second and third, still only 1 out. And Clayton Richard, the pitcher, will be the hitter.
I'm sure part of this conversation on the mound is what are we going to do if Clayton Richard shows bunt. Potential for a safety squeeze, possibly a suicide squeeze here with runners at second and third and 1 out in the inning.
Godley had been absolutely cruising through 4. Goldie and Lamb both with toes on the grass at the corners. You've got Hedges at third, Ibar at second, and 1 out. Richard swings away. 0-1. Chases a curveball, and it's 0-2. Manuel Margot, the leadoff man, is on deck. Lays off the curveball away, and it's 1-2 on the Padre pitcher. Long look down to Glenn Hoffman at third. Bounces one through. Hedges will score. Ibar's going to stop at third, and it's 3-1. RBI single for Clayton Richard.
After two ugly looking swings from Clayton Richard, a little cutter up over the heart of the plate. He's able to bounce that ball through the drawn in infield to drive home another Padre.
Still only one out in the inning. And here's the top of the order, Manuel Margot. He's 0 for 2. He has grounded out, struck out. Bunts it down in front of the plate. IANNETTA applies the tag as Ibar breaks for home. And they get the second out at home plate. Padres trying to sneak a run across, but Margot not able to get the ball far enough out in front of home.
That's just a bad read by Eric Ibar. You have to see where that ball is bunted. That was not a suicide squeeze. I don't even think it was a safety squeeze. I just think that Margot was trying to bunt for a base hit right there and catch the Diamondbacks by surprise. Unfortunately for the Padres, he caught his own teammate down at third base by surprise, and Ibar runs into an easy out.
Well, now the hitter is Alan Cordoba. 2 outs. You've got Richard, the pitcher, at second, and Margot at first. Cordoba had a bloop single that dropped fair down the right field line his first time up, but was picked off rounding first on a nice throw by Chris Owings in right field. Eighth man to bat here in the San Diego fifth against Zach Godley, and there's ball one. Zach was at 49 pitches entering this inning. He's now at 72. Beautiful sunny Sunday in San Diego. Diamondbacks and Padres, 3-1 Padres now here in the fifth. Curveball's in there, and it's a ball and 2 strikes on Alan Cordoba. Not for nothing, but Godley's spot is due to lead off the top of the 6th for the D-backs. Bullpen for the moment is quiet. There's a chopper slowly hit off the side of the mound. Cordoba can run, and he's aboard safely. Bases full of Padres for Will Myers.
All right, Cordoba got caught by surprise with that curveball. Just kind of stuck the bat out there to protect the plate. Hits that little dribbler to the left side. Nick does everything he can possibly do. Bare hand, strong throw, but Cordoba runs way too well to get him on that one.
Well, this is going to be the biggest batter of the ball game for Godley. It's Will Myers, who was flat out and walked. Bases loaded, 2 down, and 3 runs already in. Richard is at third. Margot at second. Cordoba at first. Myers 0 for 8 in the series. Lifts a fly ball along the right field line. Chris Owings will give it a look. Nice catch by the fan in foul territory.
I think they're calling fan interference right there.
Well, CO technically could have gotten underneath that one. There was enough room, and it was going to land in foul ground, not in the seats, because the fan reached over.
Yeah, you'll see the fan right there in the blue t-shirt reach way out over the field of play. I don't know that Chris would have been able to make the catch, but we'll never know because that young man decided to involve himself in the game.
Now, fan interference, like all boundary calls, is subject to review.
I think Andy Green's going to want to have the umpires take a look at this one. I'm not sure what his argument could be. The fan was clearly out over the field of play.
Brian Gorman, the first base umpire and crew chief, coming over. And the headsets are going on. Any boundary call, such as a home run, a ground rule double, stadium boundaries, fan interference, are all subject to review. And the call is out. So they do indeed rule fan interference. Andy Green loses his challenge. Diamondbacks are out of the inning, but down 3-1.
Called it right away. Brian Gorman.
Ruled fan interference right away. Andy Green challenged, and he loses his challenge. Here's a look.
Well, apparently, in the estimation of the umpires, Chris Owings would have at least had an opportunity to make a catch had that fan not interfered.
But the Padres get 3 runs on 6 hits in that bottom of the 5th. They now lead at 3-1. Zach Godley leads off the 6th. Stays 1-2. Diamondbacks so far with only 2 hits. Of course, IANNETTA's home run in the 3rd. As Manny Tomas's single in the 5th. Here's a bouncer to shortstop. Ibar charges. Throws out Godley for the first out in the 6th.
Hey fans, it's Tuesday. It's Twitter Tuesday with Brandon Webb taking over the Fox Sports Arizona Twitter account, answering all your questions during innings 3 through 5 of the D-backs White Sox game. Be sure to connect with him on Twitter this Tuesday at Fox Sports AZ.
Gregor Blanco 0 for 2. Clayton Richard looking like the same guy we saw back here on April 20th in his start against the Diamondbacks when he really stymied Arizona. 6 2/3 innings in that start, gave up just 1 run, had a season high 8 strikeouts. So far just 1 run on 2 hits through 5. D-backs, however, did beat Richard in his very next start after that, the return bout at Chase Field. He lasted only 3 2/3. But he's been very good here today. Blanco can't bunt for a base hit, and he's down 1-2. Struck him out. 3 strikeouts for Clayton Richard. He's punched out 3 of the last 4 that he's faced. 2 down in the 6th.
Just a well-placed fastball out away from Gregor Blanco that time.
Nick Ahmed 0 for 2. Nick has hit safely in 9 of the 11 games he started this month. He's hitting over 300 in May. Batting in the 2-hole against the lefty here today. 2 balls and no strikes. Dodgers are beating up on the Marlins at 6-1 in the 7th inning in LA. Giants 8-3 losers in St. Louis. Rockies won at Cincinnati 6-4. They beat the Reds. Kyle Friedland, the pitcher, hit a home run. Clayton Richard tries to get Ahmed. Myers can't get a glove on it, and Ahmed's aboard.
Yeah, Nick will be credited with an infield single right there. That like a good bunt down the 3rd baseline that time. Richard really had to bust it off the mound, made a bare hand play, throws off balance, taking Will Myers right into the baseline. Looked like the ball hit him in the glove. He just couldn't make the play.
Chance for Goldie now. He has flied out, grounded out 0 for 2. Richard at 60 pitches, 42 for strikes. Boy, Richard gives you that hesitation move with that leg kick right at his waist, kind of hangs there for a while before he goes to first or home.
You have to keep moving. It's supposed to be a continuous movement once you start your delivery, but Richard really plays with it.
Sure does.
Just kind of hangs there momentarily, waiting to see if that runner will commit one way or the other before delivering the ball to home plate. Steve Carlton was a master of that.
Lefty.
He'd get that right leg up to a certain point, and just like Richard, it almost looked like he just stopped and hung there in midair for a moment, waiting to see what the runner would do before he would commit.
2-0 to Goldie. 3 balls and no strikes. Change up away, missed. Chris Owings is the on deck hitter. Richard has not walked a batter today. He's got 3 strikeouts. I don't want Major League Baseball to be anything like the NFL, but I wouldn't mind a ban on single-digit pitcher numbers. It's become kind of a trendy thing lately.
Yeah.
It just looks weird. Here's the 3-1. Goldie blasts it down the left field line, but foul. Oh, that was coming in hot. Got a change up from Richard and jumped on it.
Well, it has to give you a peaceful, easy feeling knowing that the Yankees will never have a single-digit pitcher.
Nothing about the Yankees gives me a peaceful, easy feeling. They should be disbanded and forced to start over.
Yeah. With the retirement of Derek Jeter's number 2, there are no single-digit numbers available for Yankee current players.
Yeah, they've doubled up on some even. Had to. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nick Ahmed, the runner at first. Diamondbacks trail at 3-1. They've been out hit 7-3. Just making sure Ahmed doesn't leave too early over there. Goldie hits it hard to left. Cordoba leaps up and makes the catch. Richard strands that 2-out single. Diamondbacks trail it 3-1. Combo, the Diamondbacks and MLB The Show 17. We had a wonderful tour of the Sony studios where they make the MLB The Show video game here. Just about a 20-minute drive outside the city. Zach Godley, Andrew Chafin having their faces scanned for the game. D-backs got a behind-the-scenes tour of how the game is put together, and it was a lot of fun. Brandon Drury drifts out to shallow center. He's got that one for the first out in the bottom of the 6th. SCHIMPF is retired. Here's Hunter Renfroe. Zach Godley went with us on that tour, as we just saw. And Zach was a asking them, do you have my character in the game sprint off the mound every time at the end of every inning? Well, they should know, but they'll put that in.
Nice.
So next year, Godley, when the Diamondbacks make the final out, his video guy will run into the dugout, as Zach does. Here's Renfroe. Doubled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Andy Green has insisted all season that once Hunter Renfroe learns to start taking walks, he's going to become dangerous. And this year, Renfroe walked only 4 times in his first 34 games, and he really wasn't doing a whole lot. But lately, the walks have piled up, and so have the base hits. He's 2 for 3 today. He's actually walked 9 times in his last 10 games, and during that span, he's got 3 doubles and 3 homers. Godley now with 80 pitches, 54 strikes. CORY SPANGENBERG steps in. Just by the glove of Godley, right to Drury. AHMED for 1, and they roll it. A big double play ends the 6th inning. Diamondbacks need to get the offense going. They trail it 3-1. In need of D-back swag, fans, for the pool party this summer. Don't worry, we've got you covered as always. Saturday, June 10th is the D-backs pool towel giveaway. It's courtesy of Gila River Casinos. This is a full body, really soft towel. It's a giveaway you don't want to miss. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. We have a drone that is flying in over the seats right now, and it's making its way behind the Diamondback dugout at third base. I'm not sure the umpires see it. It's slowly making its way back down. And it's just kind of hovering there. And, you know, this is kind of a safety issue. And there it is.
I'm sure the Russians have something to do with this.
Now it's making its way back toward the Padre dugout, as Chris Owings leads off the 7th against Clayton Richard. Yeah, they need to confiscate that thing immediately. Here's our exclusive footage of the crash landing. Right into that guy. That's why that's stupid.
Yeah.
Some Rhodes Scholar decided he's going to fly his drone around the ballpark. There you go. Moving on to more intelligent moments. Clayton Richard, through 6 innings, had thrown 66 pitches in the ball game. As Owings bangs one up the middle. Ibar's there to collect that one, though. 66 pitches. Remember, the Padres Friday night threw 66 pitches in that first inning.
What a game.
And Clayton Richard has been in command so far. Just 1 run on 3 hits. 1 out in the 7th. It's Yasmani Tomas who has one of those hits, a single his last time up.
How about pitch count for Zach Godley? He had thrown 49 through the first 4 innings of this game, then had a 27 pitch 5th inning, but followed that up with a 5 pitch 6th.
That double play really helped Zach out after that ball that Hunter Renfroe hit, which was just a rocket through the hole on the ground.
113 miles per hour off the bat. Fortunately hit on the ground rather than up in the air.
When you want to be a major league infielder, that's coming at your feet at 113 miles an hour. Renfroe with 2 hits today. He's doubled, singled, scored a run. 0-2 on Tomas. Fastball right by Yasmani. 4 strikeouts for Richard.
Fastball up that time from Richard. You can see Hedges giving that target up there about belt level. Yasmani can't catch up.
Brandon Drury 0 for 2. He is flat out lined out. Hit the ball hard to center his first time up, and then right at the second baseman Spangenberg. His last time, Spangenberg made a nice leaping play. Some of the development around the ballpark here, the downtown area, a lot of construction. High rises going up all around Petco Park on all sides.
And could possibly change the conditions here inside Petco Park. Obviously those high-rise buildings that are going up all around the neighborhood here going to change the wind patterns a little bit.
Tell you what, you got a lot of decks and patios with which you could stand out and watch the ball game. If you could swing it. I don't imagine down here the rents are super cheap. Two-two pitch. Got him. Clayton Richard in command. Diamondbacks so far only 3 hits in the ball game. They trail it 3-1. Sunday. Marines and their drill instructors, 3rd Recruit Battalion, Marine Corps Recruit Depot here in San Diego, as we honor the Marines and the Coast Guard on a beautiful Sunday. Diamondbacks, though, trail the Padres 3-1. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Remember, fans, not a lot of home games between now and the end of June. A quick 3-game homestand starts tomorrow night. The roof should be open Monday and Tuesday as we welcome in the Chicago White Sox. Zack Greinke on the mound tomorrow night. dbacks.com/tickets. Patrick Corbin goes Tuesday. Taijuan Walker was supposed to start that game on Wednesday, but just before today's game, Taijuan went on the DL with a blister on his right index finger, so we're not sure who's going to start that game against Jose Quintana Wednesday afternoon. But Zack Greinke on the mound tomorrow night. Chase Field, roof should be open. dbacks.com for your tickets. Zack Godley back out there to start the 7th, down 3-1. And the Padres catcher Austin Hedges will lead it off. Got a security guard out there in center field on the warning track, and now we're set to go. Hedges singled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Trying to bunt his way on. Godley's on it. Bare hand play. Goldie just does get the glove out of there in time. 1 away.
Somewhat similar to the play that Clayton Richard made earlier in the ball game, throwing it back into the baseline. Will Myers wasn't able to make the play on the one that the Padres had earlier in the game, but that time Goldie able to snatch that ball and get his arm out of the baseline very quickly.
Eric Ibar doubled his last time up. Same play, this time it's IANNETTA. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Godley.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Well, Zach, 2 starts ago in his win over the Tigers, completed 7 innings on 88 pitches. In his last start against the Mets, he almost got through that 7th inning, couldn't quite get the final out, went 6 2/3. Through 98 pitches, so he's been even more efficient than that here today. As the pitcher Clayton Richard steps in.
Well, before that first delivery to Clayton Richard, Zack Godley had thrown 7 pitches to get 5 outs.
And that double play to end the 6th. 2 quick outs here in the 7th. Diamondbacks have been out hit 8-3. They trail it 3-1. This will be the final inning for Godley. His spot is due up 3rd in the top of the 8th. It'll be Lamb, IANNETTA, and the pitcher spot for the Diamondbacks. Lifted foul, and it's 2-2. Well, things got pretty bumpy in the 5th inning. Other than that, Zack Godley outstanding. TJ McFarland down there with bullpen coach Mike Fetters. TJ just activated from the DL before the game today, as Taijuan Walker goes on the shelf with that blister on his right index finger. Godley today retired the first 10 batters he faced. He had given up only 1 hit through 4. But then a very bumpy ride in that 5th as San Diego scored 3 runs on 6 hits, including the Ryan Schimpf homer that tied it. Richard hits a 1-hopper right to Drury. Zack Godley sprints off the mound, trailing 3-1 as we head to the 8th inning in San Diego. Diamondbacks trail the Padres 3-1. Fans, RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite major league teams, ball players, ballparks, and a whole lot more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and your mobile devices. Learn more at RBIGame.com. We start the 8th inning. Clayton Richard back out there for the Padres. He's only thrown 79 pitches through 7 innings. Jake Lamb 0 for 2 leads it off. Padres have the shift on for Lamb. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Slider from Clayton Richard. Jake came into today with an 8-game hitting streak. 5 of those multi-hit games, but nothing yet today. He has grounded out, struck out.
Good idea that time by Jake Lamb. Unfortunately, didn't get that bunt down the third baseline like he wanted. Hedges bounced on it quickly and caught it in foul territory. But with this exaggerated pull shift and facing a left-handed pitcher that you've struggled against, that's a good idea.
They give him everything on the left side. Ibar, the shortstop, is where he would normally be. There is no one at all on the left side of the field. 1-2 on Lamb. Got him. Richard has now struck out 6 in the ball game, 3 in a row. Chris IANNETTA, the first pitch he saw coming off the 7-day concussion DL. He took out to right center for a home run, his 4th of the year. Drives it to right, but right at Hunter Renfroe. Quickly 2 down. Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing, cool play of the game. Chris IANNETTA, his first pitch back off the DL, and there it goes, his 4th of the year.
Never quite sure how a guy's going to return after getting hit in the head or the face with a pitch the way Chris IANNETTA was. I think back to the Houston Astros young shortstop at the time, Dickie Thon.
Yeah.
Really good young player. Looked like he was going to be a superstar for years. And took a fastball in the face and really was never the same player after that.
David Peralta hits for the pitcher Zach Godley. Peralta 319 and 4 home runs. And he squirts one just by SCHIMPF at third. David Peralta comes up there against the lefty. He's got a 2-out single. Tying run comes up to the plate. Another situation where Torey Lovullo really does not have a right-hand bat on that bench he can go to, so Peralta is used as a pinch hitter against the lefty Richard. Comes up with a single. Blanco 0 for 3. That one gets to the backstop. Peralta moves up. Blanco has grounded out, popped up, and struck out. 0 for 3 today. That one's fouled back, and it's 1-1. Just 4 hits for the D-backs. Richard has been outstanding. Padres bullpen is busy. He's approaching 90 pitches for the ball game. Blanco able to check his swing that time, lays off the slider, and it's 2-1. Brad Hand, the left-hander. Blanco bounces one in the hole at second, but Spangenberg ranges over there nicely and collects it. Bottom 8 coming up from Petco Park. Diamondbacks trail the Padres 3-1. Gila River game summary. Clayton Richard, for the second time this year in this ballpark, has been outstanding against the Diamondbacks. 8 innings, he's given up only 1 run on 4 hits. It was the Chris IANNETTA solo homer in the 3rd. Padres got 3 in the 5th against Zack Godley. Zach's day is over, and left-hander TJ McFarland is out there to work the bottom of the 8th. Our Ashline call to the bullpen. McFarland just activated from the disabled list before the game today. He was out after taking a comebacker off his left ankle on the last homestand. Taijuan Walker goes on the DL, a blister on his right index finger.
And in very limited action, TJ McFarland was very effective out of the D-backs bullpen. 5 2/3, 3 strikeouts, did not walk a batter. Opponents hitting only .250 against him.
Torey Lovullo saw a lot of TJ McFarland. Torey was in Boston. McFarland was pitching for Baltimore. Likes him a lot. And well, Margot 0 for 3 leads off the bottom of the 8th. Hard to shortstop, off the glove of Nick Ahmed. Nick clanked it, and it rolls into left center. And then Talas overthrows the relay man. Margot's aboard.
The ball was hit fairly hard right at Nick at shortstop. I'm sure he'll tell you he should make that play. Just came up with the glove, very uncharacteristic for Nick. As sure-handed as any shortstop in the game, but that one got right through the wickets.
Second Diamondback error today. Leadoff man aboard. Margot has 5 stolen bases this year. We'll see how Andy Green wants to play it with the 21-year-old Rule 5 pickup there, Alan Cordova, who has singled twice today. Diamondbacks bullpen leads the National League and ranks 2nd in all of Major League Baseball with a 2.09 ERA. During the month of May, the D-backs bullpen has really been one of the strengths of the team this year, which is amazing considering what you went through last year with the relief corps. New front office built a whole new bullpen, and it's really performed well. Lamb at 3rd. Drury covers. They get 1, and that's it. chance you were going to get the speedy Cordoba going up the first base line. Brings up Will Myers. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Look at this. Will Myers and Paul Goldschmidt, the 2 first basemen today. Most games reaching base this year. They are 1 and 2.
Yeah, 3 first basemen atop that list, with Joey Votto of the Reds tied with Goldie.
Myers has played in every single game this season. If the Diamondbacks do come back and win this game, Myers at bat his last time up may be one of the game's most critical plays. He was up there, bases loaded, 2 outs, hit a foul ball to the right field corner. A fan reached over with a glove and caught the ball right above Chris Owings. Myers was ruled out on fan interference. They were on their way to a huge inning there. They'd already scored 3. But as a result of that play, they left the bases loaded. It's still 3-1. Well, McFarland has come in. He's gotten 2 ground balls to the left side. But he's got a runner at first, 1 out behind on the dangerous Myers, 3-1. SCHIMPF, who homered in the 5th, is on deck. He walked him.
SCHIMPF making his way to the plate, homered back in that 5th inning. It's been pointed out, a very interesting comp for Ryan SCHIMPF. Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers.
A lot of homers, a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, both guys hitting under 200 on the season. Gallo with 13 homers, SCHIMPF with 10. They've each walked over 21 times this season, and they both struck out a whole bunch.
SCHIMPF among the major league leaders in strikeouts. But he's got those 10 home runs, batting 165. He's got Cordoba at second, Myers at first, and 1 out. And the Diamondbacks will put the shift on here. 3 infielders on the right-hand side. Lamb stays near the third base bag. Diamondbacks will have 2, 3, and 4 due up in the 9th inning. AHMED, Goldie, and Owings. Tomas behind them. Trying to keep it a 3-1 ball game. Fastball missed, and SCHIMPF is ahead, 2 balls and 1 strike. Having the same kind of year this year that he had last year. Not that many hits, but almost all of them for extra bases. Last year he slugged over .530. Same slugging percentage as guys like Mark Trumbo and Robinson Cano. Not bad for a guy who's in there at 5'9", 180. That one's fouled off, and it's 2-2. Bullpen quiet now for the Diamondbacks. Got the right hand hitting Hunter Renfroe on deck. He's got 2 hits today. 2-2. Lamb backs off at third. Rockies winners in Cincinnati today 6-4. Giants lost at St. Louis 8-3. Dodgers right now lead the Marlins 6-1. They're in the 7th in LA. 2-2 to Ryan Schimpf. Fastball up and in, missed. Full count.
Many times this is a run situation for a team. Runners at first and second, full count on the hitter at the plate, but because Schimpf strikes out so often and it's a lefty on lefty matchup, I don't think Andy Green's going to start the runners. We'll see.
Cordoba at second and Myers at first. Runners hold where they are, and Schimpf takes one between the ones.
Bring a visit from Mike Butcher, the pitching coach. I would imagine the Diamondbacks at least thinking about getting somebody else up in that bullpen. Nobody throwing right now. Nobody even moving around in the Diamondbacks bullpen.
TJ McFarland got 2 quick ground balls in this inning. One was an AHMED error that went right off Nick's glove. But he has labored since. He's walked and hit a batter. Bases full, 1 out for Renfroe, who has doubled, singled, and scored a run today. Here comes Ramon De Jesus to break this up. Hunter Renfroe had been 0 for 7 in the series, doubled and scored in the 5th, singled his last time up with a rocket of a ground ball through the hole on the left side. Cordoba at third, Myers at second, and Schimpf at first. 1 out. That fastball is in there, says De Jesus, and it's 0-1. Little tapper up the line. McFarland underhand toss, and it hits the bat. He tried the scoop toss to IANNETTA, and it hit the bat right in front of home plate. Cordoba scores, and it's 4-1. Well, it's just been that kind of day for Torey Lovullo's ball club.
Talk about buzzard luck. McFarland gets to it. The only play he has is to try to shovel onto IANNETTA at the plate. Remember, it's a force play at the plate with the bases loaded. IANNETTA was stretching out like a first baseman to pick that little shovel toss out of the dirt, and the ball hit the bat. Unbelievable.
They scored a hit, give Renfroe the RBI. Brings up Spangenberg. I've never seen that. Three-hit day for Renfroe. Spangenberg go for 3.
How about that Hunter Renfroe guy that can hit the ball 500 feet, drives home a run with about a 15-foot ground ball out in front of home plate.
Crazy game. Fastball missed, 2-0.
It'll make you crazy.
I bet. Don't forget, fans, roof should be open tomorrow night at Chase Field. Zach Greinke on the mound against the White Sox. We'll have that for you on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6. Zach Greinke and Miguel Gonzalez, the right-hander for the White Sox. That's behind Johnny Washington at first. 2-1 on Corey Spangenberg. There's Zach Greinke. Gets the baseball tomorrow night. DBacks.com/tickets to see Greinke pitch against Chicago. Roof should be open Tuesday night as well, we're told. Patrick Corbin on the mound against right-hander Dylan Covey. And then a getaway day game Wednesday afternoon before a long road trip, 11 games. That White Sox series, one of your rare chances to see the Diamondbacks at home. A stretch here of 22 out of 31 games on the road. Only 9 home games between now and June 22nd. So come on out this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Don't forget matinee pricing on those Wednesday tickets. DBacks.com/matinee. 3-1 on Spangenberg. Fouled straight back. It's a full count, 3-2. Not sure who's going to pitch that Wednesday game. Taijuan Walker was supposed to, but he's now on the DL with a blister on his right index finger. After that White Sox series, an 11-game road trip through Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, and Miami. 3-2 to Corey Spangenberg. Bullpen still quiet for the Diamondbacks. Some stirring down there, but no one throwing as of yet. DJ 23 pitches in this inning and more balls than strikes. 3-2 pitch on the way. Left center, Blanco's out there. Here comes Myers from third. RBI for Spangenberg, and it's 5-1 San Diego. Andrew Chafin will start getting hot down there. Austin Hedges, the catcher, comes up. Hedges singled and scored in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Padres with 3 in the 5th and now 2 here in the 8th. They've out hit the Diamondbacks 9-4. Those pitches TJ has thrown in one outing this year is 30. That was earlier this month at Colorado. He worked 2 innings in that ball game. Right now 26 pitches, only half of them for strikes. Good changeup that time, and Hedges is down 1-2. Flails at another one. Good changeups there from TJ McFarland, but the Padres get 2 runs. We head to the 9th. Diamondbacks down 4.
back here, but Clayton Richard has been in control, and that brings up the story Torey Lovullo was talking about earlier today, just about this right-handed lineup, which was expected to do pretty well against left-handed pitching. And Torey was asked, why haven't they? He said he really doesn't have an answer right now, and so that is a question and a challenge for the D-backs. They came into this game 7-7 against left-handed starters, guys.
Yeah, a lot of the key right-hand bats have not been hitting lefties like we're used to seeing. Goldie and Brandon Drury and Yasmani Tomas, some of those guys. Richard starts the inning at 90 pitches. Ahmed starts it off by lining out to Margot in center. One down in the ninth. Clayton Richard has dominated the Diamondbacks here at Petco Park for the second time this year. And barring a comeback, he's on his way to his third win this year. Here's Goldie. 0 for 3 so far.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks as a team this year have hit .281 against right-handed pitching, only .239 against lefties, and with all the right-handed bats that the Diamondbacks have on this roster, that is really a surprise.
Goldie hits one hard and by Ibar. A one-out single. Yeah, the second time this year they've had trouble with Clayton Richard. Another left-hander warming up at the Padre pen. It's Brad Hand. Richard 6 2/3 against the D-backs here at Petco Park. April 20th gave up just 1 run. Trying to go all the way here today, giving up only 1 run. Here's Owings, who's 0 for 3. CO with a 6-game hit streak on the line. Also hit safely in 10 consecutive starts, but nothing yet today. He's flied out twice, grounded out. Goldie's single there, just the 5th hit today for the Diamondbacks against Richard. 4 of those hits are singles other than the IANNETTA homer. Ibar for 1. Spangenberg can't turn it. Yasmani Tomas. Yasmani singled in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Rockies 6-4 winners in Cincinnati, so unless there's a miracle comeback, the Diamondbacks will drop 2 games behind Colorado for the NL West lead. Ground ball right to Ibar, the short way for the force on Owings, and that's it. The Padres avoid the sweep. They take the finale 5-1. And that snaps the Diamondbacks' 5-game winning streak.
Well, a tough game to figure. Clayton Richard, as you mentioned, a good start against the Diamondbacks here at Petco. They turned around and beat his brains in at Chase Field the next time out. Looked like they'd made a really nice adjustment, but Clayton Richard with a counter adjustment pitches a gem against the D-backs here today.
Diamondbacks only 1 run on 5 hits. 4 of those hits were singles, and the Padres take the series finale 5.